here on the double threat charters out of Coconut Grove, Miami. It's been a hell of a year of fishing, 2023. It's just unbelievable. Did about 15, 17 trips, four or five offshore trips, 6 or 7 days fishing in the Amazon, and the rest of it was inshore fishing in Biscayne Bay, the Flats, and the Florida Everglades. Tremendous amount of species this year, from peacock bass in the Amazon, trophy-sized bonefish. Went one day on bonefish, went 9 for 11 bonefish, with I think 8 of them or 7 of them over 10 pounds, something absolutely ridiculous. The fishing in the Amazon was totally off the hook, with peacock bass, wolfish, matsirina, piranha, pacu, ton of species. Absolutely amazing experiences fishing in the Amazon. The 4 offshore trips I did this year on the double threat, went 4 for 5 on the Sailfish. We're still currently fishing right now, so I can even up those numbers. Amberjack, grouper, tuna, just a tremendous amount of action this year. Starting off, January 23, didn't do anything. February, I kicked the year off with a Bonefish Bonanza in Biscayne Bay. Went 9 for 11 on trophy bonefish, with several of them over 10 pounds. This was just probably the best day, certainly the best day bone fishing, and I would say one of the top days ever fishing. It was with Captain O. It was with Captain Mo of MiamiBonefishing.com, and we dialed it in. Unfortunately, the next month we didn't get 9 for 11 on the bonefish. In March, brought me back to Biscayne Bay, fishing again with Mo. This time we did some wreck fishing in the bay. We got some nice size monster mutton snapper, and it was really a good test of skills and strength with the winds that we were facing. The challenge was tough, but the reward, particularly eating keeper size mutton snappers, was totally right on. As April arrived, I set sail for offshore fishing, the first of 4 or 5 trips in 2023. The thrill of chasing sailfish is an experience. If you've never done it and you love fishing, it's amazing. Miami is the sailfish capital of the United States. We have Sailfish Alley running right offshore our waters. I was actually sailfishing yesterday. We'll get into that as we get through this video. May was a month of triple back-to-back fishing. First shark fishing in Biscayne Bay, nice lemons and nurse sharks, which are kind of like a bag or a sack of potatoes, but this time I was actually pleasantly surprised. They did put up a fight on light tackle. The following day, me and my buddies, marine guys, we went offshore fishing. We loaded up on dolphin or mahi-mahi, beautiful sailfish, grouper, king mackerel, amberjacks. It was top day offshore fishing. And I ended the month trip flying out to Santa Fe, and did hiking and exploring in the Santa Fe Pecos Mountains with an old Navy buddy of mine. And then on the last day, when I was solo, I went fishing in up in the high country. It was a early May trip. It was the last trip of the month, but it was an early May trip, and it was still snow runoff in the mountains. So the trout fishing was challenging, but in the high alpine lakes, we did catch some nice 12, 16, 18-inch rainbows. June of this year took me back to Flamingo in the Everglades, and what started out as a snook trip, and I did get one really nice snook, turned into a complete lemon shark feeding frenzy, and At one point we had 8, 9 sharks surrounding the boat as we were fighting fish. So we gave up on the snook and just started targeting one lemon shark after another till we ran out of bait and shark hooks because they kept cutting that. And that was a fun day. And again, that was with Captain Mo. In July, I was up in Lake Huron. It was one of the last Great Lakes I needed to explore. My son lives out in Toronto, so we did an exploration along the Bruce Peninsula, Lake Huron, and we went fishing in Georgian Bay for salmon. Unfortunately, we got skunked, but it was still a great day being out on the water with my son and all of that. Really loved that. It was beautiful scenery. The lake, towards the end of the day, we were getting some 3-foot swells on the lake, so it was sporty. August was the highlight as far as fishing trips. That was the big trip to the Amazon, the Rio Guariba. That was a 6 or 7 day fishing trip. To get to the fishing lodges, if you've seen on other videos, and I'll have links in the description and things at the end, to get to the lodge was a 2-hour bush paint. To get to the lodge was a 2-hour bush plane ride, followed by a 4-hour boat ride to an extremely remote lodge. It was a multi-species fishing trip, everything from peacock bass, pacu, maturina, payada, vampire fish, arowana, the monkey fish, wolf fish. It was just a potpourri of Amazon River monsters. And I am going back with fishing with Steve from Amazon Anglers next month in the Rio Negro in the northern reaches of the Amazon, targeting monster, giant, 3-barred peacock bass up to 20 pounds. So that's the first trip next year. In October, I took me back to Biscayne Bay, and there we really banged up on the snappers and the yellowjacks. Good sporty fish, good eating fish as well. November was the November trip was all about fishing with my fellow veterans at the American Legion Post. We hosted an offshore fishing trip with the Double Threat charters out of Coconut Grove. Me and 5 other veterans, we went out and we had a goofy fun day fishing for sailfish, sharks, and little tunas, so and some big barracudas. So that was an incredibly fun day. The 19th of December was my last fishing trip of the year, and I went with my nephew from Brazil, and we went 0 for 1 on the sailfish. We got some mahi, king mackerel, some small sharks, and I think that was it. Yeah, but it was a sporty day with 4 to 6 foot seas, certainly picking up towards the end of the fishing trip, and the wind was really kicking up, as you can see in the video. Yeah, so that's a wrap on 2023 fishing adventures. Next year, 2024, looking at another trip to the Amazon in less than a month in January. We'll be hitting the upper Rio Negro for monster 3-barred peacock bass in the double-digit 10 to 20 pound range. I have a back-to-back offshore trip out of the Key West for the giant tortugas, and do plan on hitting multiple days offshore here in Miami and inshore Biscayne Bay, the Flats, and Everglades National Park, and that would be with Mo from Miami Bonefishing. Hopefully next year I'll get a trip out to the Canada Maritimes, either out of New Brunswick or Nova Scotia. So looking at doing that in the late summer, early fall of next year. Next year we'll also see adventures in the Norwegian fjords with my lovely wife, who will be joining me. Actually, next year we'll be doing a 35th anniversary cruise in the Norwegian fjords, my wife and I. So looking forward to that. I don't think I'll do any fishing, even though fishing is offered. You know, got to pick and choose. Got to pick and choose those activities. But again, 2023 has been a banner year.